The ancient Stoic thinkers developed a timeless framework for finding freedom, resilience, and peace of mind. Their teachings provide simple yet profoundly wise guidance on cultivating self-mastery, strengthening your character, and maintaining equanimity through life's inevitable ups and downs. By expressing the virtues at the heart of Stoic thought, you can achieve an unshakable state of well-being. Get inspired as these 21 Stoic quotes reveal eye-opening perspectives to elevate how you approach existence itself. 1. There is good in everything, if only we look for it. Laura Ingalls Wilder. No matter how bleak or despairing the circumstances you find yourself in, this timeless wisdom reminds us that there is always some kernel of potential positivity to be derived, if you remain diligent in scouring for those glimmers of light. When racked with illness, there is an opportunity to reprioritize your values and rekindle gratitude for good health. When trapped in a professional rut, there are lessons about perseverance and reinvention. Even in the depths of mourning a profound loss, there are traces of joyful memories to be memorialized. Too often, our instinct is to let our minds obsessively spiral into worst-case narration modes when any difficulty arises. We become virtual tour guides pointing out every pothole and detour on our journey's roadmap. In doing so, we neglect to notice the lush scenery, hidden treasures, and reasons for positivity all around us. But what if we made a conscious choice to pivot our perspective? To take those same challenges being lamented and use them as launching pads for finding the uplifting embedded within the struggle itself. This isn't some naive call to put on rose-colored blinders. True resilience demands clear-eyed pragmatism. However, it's equally delusional to buy into fatalistic thinking that any situation is utterly devoid of potential for growth, wisdom, or optimism. 2. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. Our culture is constantly pushing the idea that we need to acquire more stuff to finally be content. Nicer cars, bigger houses, the latest gadgets. We're told accumulating more will satisfy us. But this is a lie, an endless thirst that can never be quenched. The more we get, the more we crave. Constant wanting makes us powerless slaves. The antidote? Cultivate an inner sense of enough. Distinguish between your actual needs and artificial wants created by societal conditioning. Let go of attachments and find satisfaction in simplicity. Discover richness in an existence unburdened by greed's discontents. Owning little material possessions liberates you to pursue what truly allows you to flourish: growth, virtue, service to others. When you want little, you have everything essential for a fulfilling life. 3. He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a man who is alive. Seneca. Our fears ultimately stem from nature's hardwired survival instinct, but our uniquely human ability to vividly imagine the future paradoxically leaves us powerless captives to worry and apprehension. We agonize endlessly over what-if scenarios and worst-case situations that may never happen. Allowing the specter of death to haunt our decisions leaves us only partially alive, cowering in fear's shadows. To truly live means staring down our mortal reality with clear eyes. Like watching a sunset, we can appreciate the beauty and preciousness of our fleeting existence, even as darkness is inevitable. Only by conquering the terror of death are we freed to pursue worthy, courageous aims with integrity. When we no longer fear losing everything, we unlock the potential of our one life. 4. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Seneca. In our consumerist culture, we're taught that poverty comes from lacking money and possessions. But the philosophers remind us that the truest poverty is an impoverished mind, an inner void we fruitlessly try to fill through acquiring more stuff. Paradoxically, those who own the least but remain content with having enough are far wealthier than the greedy gluttons of opulence. The first step to curing this spiritual starvation is escaping society's constant pressure to endlessly want more. Distinguish your actual needs from the hollow cravings that can never satisfy. Detach yourself from unhealthy attachments to possessions, and you'll tap into something priceless, the unlimited inner abundance and freedom of a mind at peace. Only then can you truly enjoy what you already have. 5. If virtue precedes all else, nothing can be truer than that the virtues of the soul lead to happiness. Zeno of Citium. Modern society worships empty idols, fame, riches, cheap pleasures. We chase these illusions like hungry ghosts, believing they'll finally deliver the lasting happiness that's eluded us. But no object or achievement can provide more than a fleeting high before the emptiness returns. The Stoics knew the real secret to a flourishing life, cultivating virtues like courage, self-discipline, wisdom, justice, and human excellence. By embodying these elevated ideals through our actions, we nurture eudaimonia, that deep spiritual happiness that comes from living with integrity and purpose regardless of circumstances. While pleasure fades, authentic, lasting joy stems from striving to reach our highest human potential. This is the path to profound and enduring fulfillment. 6. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. We are not simply products of our genetics or environments. Rather, we shape the essence of who we are through our habitual thoughts and internal self-talk. Every moment presents a pivotal decision. Will you embrace negative thought patterns rooted in misery, or those aligned with clarity and virtue? Like an idle mind drawn to gloomy abstractions, negativity rumination casts a dark shadow over our entire existence. On the other hand, intentionally nurturing thoughts of gratitude, love, purpose, and resilience allows radiant joy to blossom naturally. The colors we choose for the canvas of consciousness become our lived reality, for better or worse. Those skilled at guarding their mind cultivate an inner paradise. Tranquility and wisdom aren't temporary states, but abiding traits. Through mindful self-discipline, we too can master our interior landscape and thrive even amid life's inevitable storms. 7. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Far too many of us resign ourselves to being hostages of our turbulent inner experience. We treat anxieties, insecurities, and negativity as innate parts of our identity to be merely endured. Yet the Stoics recognized our power to actively shape the quality of our mental lives through reasoned self-direction. Every anguished emotion and dysfunctional habit arises from flawed thought patterns absorbed from our experiences and culture. Through diligent self-examination, we can uproot these toxic roots before they strangle our potential for fulfillment. We can become self-gardeners who purposefully cultivate wholesome perspectives conducive to thriving. Ultimately, our state of being emanates from the philosophies we practice daily through our thinking. Choose to view life's difficulties as lamentable or opportunities for growth. Create your reality accordingly. The keys to lifelong contentment lie in intentionally nurturing the right mental landscapes. 8. No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have. Seneca. In our era of excessive consumption, our sense of entitlement to every desire seems limitless. We take immense offense at unmet cravings, no matter how trivial. This insatiable greed for more spawns perpetual dissatisfaction with our current circumstances, robbing us of the ability to savor life's simple joys. The Stoics remind us that while we have little control over external conditions, we have complete sovereignty over our mindset. We'll never enjoy the luxury of unlimited indulgence, but we can transcend our materialistic shackles by tempering our longings with discipline and perspective. Developing gratitude for life's essentials while renouncing excessive wanting quells the plague of covetous discontent. Those at peace with their portion taste true freedom. Satisfied with having enough, they are unshackled from insatiable greed's chains. 9. Until we have begun to go without them, we fail to realize how unnecessary many things are. Seneca. Little luxuries that initially felt harmless gradually morph into perceived necessities without us even realizing it. It's only when we strip them away that we see their superfluousness with striking clarity. This realization liberates us from the burden of attachment and manufactured desire. That fancy new car hardly seemed like an over-the-top indulgence at the time, but once you experience the financial freedom and peace of mind from paying cash for a modest, reliable vehicle, you awaken to how imprisoned you were by auto loans and status insecurity. The same goes for those 500 cable channels you rarely watch, the walk-in closet stuffed with clothes you don't wear, and the kitchen gadgets gathering dust. By periodically conducting simplicity challenges, where you intentionally live with less, you free yourself from defining your self-worth through possessions. You realize how few things you actually need and how many wants were thrust upon you by cultural conditioning. With that release comes an incredible lightness, the agility to pursue higher purposes than vapid consumerism. The dead weights easily fall away. 10. No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen. Epictetus. In our era of instant gratification and life hacking, we crave shortcuts to mastery and personal transformation. Yet anything meaningful and enduring, be it a skill, a virtuous character, or life's great works, demands patience and incremental progress over a long journey. Quick fixes offer fool's gold that inevitably breeds disillusionment. The Stoics teach us to reframe our relationship to time and reasonable expectations. Like a wise gardener, we must devotedly steward the ongoing process, pulling weeds, pruning branches, aerating the soil with our efforts. Only then can we hope to delight in the sweet, abundant harvest brought forth through steadfast care and persistence. Those fixated on rapid results always abort their strivings prematurely when the intense work spikes. But those at peace with applying themselves diligently, despite hitting snags, remain steadfast through difficulties. Life's greatest rewards go to those who endure. 11. Everything has two handles, the one by which it may be borne, the other by which it cannot. Epictetus. In every challenge, two divergent perspectives vie for our attention, one that empowers and one that cripples. The same fire that warms a home can scald our hand if we foolishly grab the wrong part. Events themselves are neutral. It's our chosen vantage point that determines whether they spark anguish or represent an opportunity. The untrained instinctive reaction is to grasp life's tribulations by the razor's edge. We lament tragedies, curse our assumed bad luck, and adopt a disempowered victim narrative. Consequently, we remain haunted and traumatized, compulsively reliving past pains in a self-created hell. In contrast, the philosophical mind seeks out the other safer handle that renders adversity manageable. They approach hardship as a natural chance to forge resilience from the crucible of struggle. They transform wounds into cathartic wisdom to be harnessed. Where one sees inertia, the other discovers openings for personal growth and reinvention. The path is ours to choose in each moment. We alone nurture either a narrative of victimhood or redemption. The Stoics remind us that our conscious perspective acts as the alchemist in transmuting setbacks into fuel for an upward journey. 12. How ridiculous and how strange to be surprised at anything which happens in life. Marcus Aurelius. Most of our exasperation and outrage stems from an oblivious mindset that expects life to be seamless and maximally convenient at all times. When flights land late, Wi-Fi lags, or restaurant orders get bungled, our minds erupt as if some great injustice has transpired against the cosmic order. Yet obstacles, delays, disruptions, and messiness are inevitable facts woven into the fabric of existence. To be constantly stunned by their appearance is akin to a sailor being flabbergasted that their vessel encounters rough waters and waves. It's irrational and betrays an utter lack of preparedness. The mindset grounded in Stoic wisdom expects disorder, resistance, and detours around every corner. We've rehearsed this stance, meeting tribulations with calmness rather than shock and indignation. Instead of railing hopelessly against the universe's unpredictability, we attune ourselves to adeptly navigating life's rough patches with poise. Like a sailor tacking into gusty winds, we adjust our course with grace. 13. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. Our culture glorifies a carefree life of hedonistic indulgence, chasing every pleasure, avoiding all discomfort, and succumbing to each impulse. Yet the Stoics understood that those enslaved to their animalistic cravings and laziness are not truly liberated, but unconscious bondsmen. Real freedom is self-mastery, developing the fortitude to rationally govern our desires rather than remaining at their mercy. Only then can we steer our own course through life rather than being a leaf blown about by gusting appetites and inertia. The philosophers modeled how to impose disciplined order over our unruly minds, habits, and emotions. With tenacity and vigilance, we shape our behavior through the constraints of wisdom and ethics. In this way, we are never mere victims, but sovereign authors scripting our life's drama. By conquering the kingdom within, we become free citizens in the highest republic, beholden to no external force. No circumstance can shackle those who rule themselves with reason. 14. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. So much of our pain originates not from the world itself, but from our own mental factories of anxiety and dread. We manufacture entire galaxies of anguish, ruminating over worst-case scenarios, rehashing ancient humiliations, and obsessing over hypotheticals that may never transpire. Meanwhile, the present moment is typically quite manageable, a passing blip to navigate with calm rationale. The Stoics keenly distinguished the difference between objective reality and our fearful, catastrophic inner narratives that twist it into emotional torture chambers. The antidote? Inhabiting the here and now with your full embodied awareness rather than spiraling outwards into mental drama. When we tether ourselves to the tangible, felt experience of the present, turbulence ceases. Our racing minds settle like a crystal lake. Why endure any more suffering than what this moment necessarily entails? The sages urge us to step out of the theater of imaginary perseverations and open to the serenity of things as they are. That alone is exertion enough. 15. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Who you are isn't defined by your genetics, upbringing, or circumstances alone. Rather, through your habitual thoughts and mental narratives, you proactively sculpt your very essence. Each passing moment presents a pivotal choice. Will you indulge toxic mind patterns marinating you in delusion and misery, or thoughts aligned with wisdom and virtue? Like an unattended mind gravitating to gloomy ruminations, negativity enshrouds our whole existence in shades of gray. Yet by training ourselves to nurture thoughts of gratitude, compassion, purpose, and resilience, vibrant joy naturally blossoms in high-definition hues. The colors you choose for the canvas of consciousness shape your lived experience of reality. Those who govern their awareness cultivate an inner sanctuary immune to external storms. For them, contentment and clarity are not passing moods, but abiding baselines. Through dedication, we too can become curators of our minds, intentionally tending the soil to grow enduring happiness amidst all seasons. 16. Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but wish for everything to happen as it actually does happen, and your life will flow well. Epictetus. So much of our frustration and misery comes from fighting against reality, railing against circumstances beyond our control instead of accepting them with pragmatic flexibility. We throw tantrums like petulant children when the world dares defy our preferences and plans. The wiser path, according to the Stoics, is to align ourselves with the unfolding truth of each moment. Resist nothing, and you'll suffer nothing to resist against. Allow situations to simply unfold without insisting on dictating the terms yourself. This isn't fatalistic resignation, but a pragmatic acknowledgement of the limits of our influence. We control only our internal responses, not external events themselves. So why not relax into the flow by adjusting our mindset and aims accordingly? Those who master this stance glide smoothly through life's disruptions. 17. The essential thing is to attend to thyself, to perfect thyself into security, in which alone is happiness. Zeno of Citium. We spend so much time and energy frantically trying to control or change our external circumstances. We believe that if we can just acquire a certain job, relationship, or possession, then we'll finally be fulfilled. But the truth is that real, lasting happiness must be an inside job. The Stoics knew that no situation or achievement could provide more than a fleeting high of satisfaction before the hunger inevitably returns. Authentic, unshakable contentment can only be cultivated within. By tending to our deepest selves with acceptance, discipline, and wisdom. Rather than looking outward for some future state of affairs to grant us peace, we're invited to turn our efforts inward toward perfecting our character and worldview in the here and now. It's only through this inner work of attending to our thoughts, ethics, and reactions that we create the conditions for enduring tranquility, no matter our circumstances. 18. Neither should a ship rely on one small anchor, nor should life rest on a single hope. Epictetus. It's wise to have multiple irons in the fire so that if one path gets blocked or meets a dead end, you have alternative routes and prospects to draw upon. Putting all your eggs in one basket leaves you exceptionally vulnerable if things don't quite go as planned. The Stoics caution us not to place our sense of purpose, security, and self-worth entirely upon any single pursuit, possession, or relationship. No matter how central something appears in the moment, everything is subject to eventually being lost or changing. Those are the facts of impermanence. By keeping a diverse portfolio of life anchors, be they career, community, hobbies, family, spirituality, you remain buoyant and resilient amidst inevitable waves of change or loss. This way, disruptive events don't derail you but become navigable obstacles to adjust to on your purposeful journey. 19. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Marcus Aurelius. At the most fundamental level, the only true constant is that everything keeps changing form. All entities are impermanent. They arise, persist for a spell, and eventually dissipate. Nothing, including ourselves, is exempt from this ceaseless cosmic flux. Yet most of our suffering stems from vainly resisting this unavoidable fact of impermanence. We cling desperately to our fantasies of how things should be, instead of accepting each moment's unfolding reality with equanimity. The Stoics remind us that while we can't control the universe's transformations, we can master our inner perspective and reactions to events. By flowing with inevitable changes rather than struggling against the current, we cultivate true freedom from affliction. The path to thriving amidst turbulence begins with reorienting our mindset. 20. Man is troubled not by events, but by the meaning he gives them. Epictetus. It's not the things that happen to us that disturb our peace of mind, but rather our thoughts, judgments, and narratives about those events. Two people can experience the same event, a job loss, a breakup, a serious illness, yet one gets consumed by anger and despair while the other faces it with grace. What makes the difference is not just the event itself, but the interpretive lenses through which each person processes the experience. Do they view it as an unspeakable curse, or a challenging but inevitable complexity of life to be navigated with wisdom and courage? The Stoics knew that while we can't control what happens on the external level, we can master our internal meanings and reactions. It's our power of perspective that determines whether circumstances become our emotional prisons or openings for growth. With disciplined self-coaching, we can reframe our narratives in service of flourishing. 21. It would be a hell of a universe if it was only what it looked like. Marcus Aurelius. How easily we fall into the delusion that what we're perceiving through our senses represents the totality of reality. Yet the Stoics remind us that the physical world is just the visible tip of a vastly deeper, unseen cosmic unfolding. Just like a massive iceberg's bulk lies unseen below the surface, deeper dimensions of connectedness, impermanence, and mystery underlie our experience. What something looks like is hardly the whole story, merely the outer shell of an incredibly rich, ungraspable totality pulsing all around us. To be liberated into this greater perspective is to taste profound wonder and appreciation. We're no longer confined by the obvious face value of phenomena, but open ourselves to be delightfully baffled by existence's ineffable depths. The present moment ceases being a drab scene, transformed into a shimmering portal revealing the magic of the universe. If you have made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.